I'd like to introduce the three approaches to political philosophy by talking about where we are right now in the United States. In the United States, we have, broadly speaking, two political parties and three approaches to politics, or three approaches to what we ought to do in politics. Of course, the situation is more complicated than that, okay? I'm dividing things up into conservatism, liberalism, and libertarianism. But there are subgroups in each of these camps. There are things that fall in the middle, and there are outlying approaches that influence the others in one way or another. Right? But that's where we stand. We have our two-party system, Democrats and Republicans. There are third parties, right? But they rarely, if ever, win elections on the national level. Now, that doesn't mean they don't have an influence. Some historians will argue that third parties tend to come up when there's some serious concerns among the public. Right? Eventually, their concerns, right, are addressed, at least to some extent, by one of the two major political parties, and then that group falls away. Okay? For example, we had the populists in the last century, okay? And the populists came up, right? They got absorbed into their concerns got absorbed by the other parties. There were the Free Soilers in the mid-19th century, right? Eventually, the Republicans came into prominence, right? And the Free Soilers dropped off. Who knows where things are today? We have the Green Party and the Libertarian Party. For a while, we had the Reform Party, although they seem to have died down. Right? There's a good chance that their concerns they'll persist as an alternative perspective, or their concerns will get absorbed into the platform of the major political parties. So to sum up, as things stand, we have two political parties, but more than two approaches to political philosophy. In what comes, I'll discuss what distinguishes these three approaches, and then I'll talk a little bit about how they line up with our existing political parties.